Hello, this is Tongsi. I'm bringing a video today showing you how I multi-box 12 nightmares and 1 basilisk with 6 reps and do incursion sites and make upwards of 1.2 billion ISK an hour, usually a little bit more than that, in a combination of ISK and LP. So you can see the right side of the screen there, I have all my nightmares. They're all tachyon fit, webbed, dual sensor boosted. Do have semi-shiny fits, each one's worth about 2 bill. Didn't go too expensive on them. Not very much need for more than 2 billion ISK on a incursion fit nightmare, to be perfectly honest with you. Got a little frigate on gate, probably scouting for another incursion fleet. And do a bit of D-scan just to make sure. Yep, he's the only guy on there, so safe to go in with the nightmares. Safest thing to do here is warp the nightmares in slightly before warping in the basilisk, just so if everything is at 0 meters when I land, I'm not panicking trying to spider tank with nightmares to keep the basilisk alive. I really don't like having to rep the basilisk. I have had experiences in the past where I have locked the basilisk and with everything being in the same corp I've accidentally alphaed him, which it was more embarrassing rather than too much of a loss. Anyway, locking up the frigates here, that's just because the frigates getting close fastest, so get them off the field before they can get good transversal up on your ships, and then work on the bigger slower ships after that, because they'll still be at about 50 kilometers out. I have the speed on the overview for this site. It's not very necessary, it's more important on the Nation Mining Colonies. On this I'm more worried about ship names and distances rather than anything else. Quick hop over onto the left screen there. As you can see, the basilisk is having absolutely no issues because it has not had to do anything yet. Time for the second wave, and again just take out the frigates. The second and first wave are always very uneventful. It's just a bit of range DPS applied to those, and then the final wave obviously spawns at 30 kilometers, which it's in enough range to do some good DPS about 5 to 10 seconds after it lands. So the basilisk does usually get something to do, just depends what takes aggro. What I do in this site is or in the second wave of this site, is I'll usually 3 volley a delta. So I'll volley it twice, and then on the final volley I'll switch over ammo so that I'm on Gleam. Gleam is perfect range to take on the final wave at about 30 kilometers. So as you can see here, I'm just switching ammo on all of those nightmares. Down the right hand side you can see the switching of them all. Alpha it, get onto the final wave, and here I am locking stuff up and waiting for a scram message. Whatever gets a scram message is taking the DPS. So if it's a basilisk, I'm not too worried. If it's one of the nightmares, then I'll switch over the basilisk screen and rep him up. But as you can see, it's the basilisk, so there is no need whatsoever to do anything logistics. I can just sit it out and do all the DPS. And yeah, that's how you do a site without having to rep anything in Vanguard. So you can see my order changes on the final wave. I usually take out the bigger stuff. Reason for that is my webs only have an 18 kilometer range, so I can't web the frigates as they land, and they get their transversal up too quickly to alpha them right off. as I can when they're at 70 kilometers. So I'll leave them until the end. Yeah, usually no problems whatsoever. Site complete, reasonably good time. I'm going slightly slower, but than I usually would. But not a big deal. Next site. Alright, thanks for watching. Please leave any questions in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as best as possible. I know a lot of people have been asking me questions in game when I've been running this setup, so I fully expect quite a lot